Alright, welcome back. Let's get the cards done for today. So I'm going to do a sound floor check. Alright, 35, that's pretty good. Looks like I'm beginning to yellow, so audio looks good as well. So let's see how fast I can get this done. Faster the better. So the program responsible for managing run levels and associated daemon/resources is /sbin/init. So during system initialization, the init program identifies the requested run level defined by a kernel parameter or in the /etc/init tab file and loads the associated scripts listed there for the given run level. Every run level may have associated service files, usually scripts in the blank directory. So I'm going to go with these are associated service files. So I'm going to go with /etc/so.init.d. Oh, I was close. So it's /etc/init.d. So update-grep is usually a shortcut to, okay, they produce the same results. I'm going to say grub/config. Okay, grub/mkconfig, close. Partitioning the disk is only the first step towards being able to use a disk. After that, you will need to format the partition with a file system before using it to store data. A file system controls how the data is stored and accessed on the disk. Linux supports many file systems, some native, some like the ext, extended file system family, while others come from other operating systems like FAT from MS-DOS, NTFS from Windows NT FHS and FHS Plus from Mac OS, etc. The standard tool used to create a file system on Linux is MK2FS. Nope, there's no 2. It's MKFS. Got it wrong. So configure dynamic linker runtime bindings. That's going to be ldconfig. On Linux, the system can swap memory pages from RAM to disk as needed, storing them on a separate space, usually implemented as a separate partition on a disk, called the swap partition or simply swap. This partition needs to be of a specific type and set up with a proper utility blank before it can be used. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, a swap. I'm gonna go with G swap. Oh, MK swap. As a rule, Linux developers write man files, MAN. There are 2 commands that can be used to check how much space is being used and how much is left on a subsystem. The first one is DU, which stands for disk usage. DU is recursive in nature, and this is to check how much space is being used and how much is left on a file system. So DU is that. Free is another command. That's to check how much memory is being used, and that's different from space on a file system. So the answer is DU. The blank command, as well as other utilities such as FG, BG, and kill. So the answer is jobs, JOBS. DU works at the files level. There's another command that can show you disk usage and how much space is available at the file system level. This command is blank. The command blank, and I can take sedentary time if I want it. I do want it. back to the card. So the command blank will provide a list of all the available already mounted file systems on your system, including their total size, how much space has been used, how much space is available, the usage percentage, and where it is mounted. So the answer is DF. Oh, I got it right. Okay. As the name implies, blank takes an RPM package. So the answer is going to be RPM 2, the number 2, CPIO. Got it. To check a file system for errors and hopefully fix them, Linux provides the FSCHEC key. So the answer is FSCHECK. Nope. The answer is FSCK. Partitioning on the... Okay, it's only the first step. The standard tool used to create a file system is MKFS. Yep. FSCK itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility for the file system type to do so. In the example above, since a file system type was not specified, FSCK assumed a EX234 file system by default and called MK2EXT. Nope, so it's E2FSCK. Alright, so this partition needs to be of specific type, set up with a proper utility blank before it can be used. MKSWAP. So blank is used to create an EX2, EX3, or EX4 file system, usually called a disk partition. MKFS. Nope, so it's MKE2FS. To help illustrate the number of lines, you can use the NL command. EX2, EX3, and EX4 file systems have a number of parameters that can be adjusted or tuned by the system administrator to better suit the system needs. The utility used to display and modify these parameters is called blank. To see the current parameters for any given file system, use the -L parameter followed by the device representing the partition. Interesting. I'm going to do MK2FS for this one. Tune2FS, so on the right track, but not right. Many Linux installations will utilize a machine identification number called the dbus machine ID. For XFS file systems, the equivalent of FSCK is blank. FXFS maybe? Shouldn't really guess. But the correct answer is XFS_repair. Divisions on hard disk are partitions. Another useful utility is blank, which can be used to reorganize or defragment an XFS file system. I don't know this one, so I'm just going to read it and then look at the answer. When executed without any extra arguments, it will run for 2 hours and try to defragment all mounted writable XFS file systems listed on the /etc/mtab file. You may need to install this utility using the package manager for your Linux distribution, as it may not be part of a default install. For more information, consult the corresponding man page. Okay, so the answer is XFS_FSR. I'm not sure what that stands for, because I would think there'd be a D in there for I would think it would be like DDF for like disk defragment, but FSR, I'm not sure what that stands for. To check the file system for errors and hopefully fix them, Linux provides the FSCK utility. To debug an FSS system, the utility blank can be used like in blank. I don't know. I'm not going to guess. So the answer is xfs_db. FSCK itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility for the system to do so. In the example above, since the file system was not specified, FSCK assumed that it was the ext style file system, and it called okay. Okay, so I don't know. I'm not gonna guess. E2FSCK. Because if you guess, you will have to unlearn your guess. You might keep going back to your guess and be like, oh, okay, that my guess was on the right track, even though it was 180 degrees from where it needed to be. So just don't deal with a guess because you'll have to unlearn a guess. On Linux, the system can swap memory pages from RAM to disk as needed, storing them on a separate space, usually implemented as a separate partition on a disk called the swap partition or simply swap. This partition needs to be of a specific type, set up with a proper utility. So what utility creates swap space? I don't remember. So the utility to make swap space is mkswap. Blank is used to create an ex2, ex3, or ex4 file system, usually in a device partition. Device is the special file corresponding to the system. Blocks-count is the number of blocks on the device. If omitted, blank auto-magically configures the system's don't know, not going to guess. MKE2FS. The program responsible for managing run levels and associated daemons. Okay, so this one is /etc/init.d. Got it. ext2, ext3, and ext4 file systems have a number of parameters that can be adjusted or tuned by the system administrator to better suit the system needs. The utility used to display or modify these parameters is called tune2fs. Tune2fs. There we go. For XFS file systems, the equivalent of FSCK is blank. If you suspect that something is wrong with the file system, the first thing to do is to scan it for damage. This can be done by passing the -n parameter to blank. And I don't know. I'm not going to guess. Oh, XFS_repair. That's kind of what I thought. Okay. So if you pass -n, it means no modify. The system will be checked. Errors will be reported, but no repairs will be made. So here's kind of a key word is we're trying to, yeah. Another useful utility is blank, which can be, okay, so this is the one that it's XFS underscore, and then I don't remember. XFS_FSR. Update-grub is usually a shortcut to, ooh, interesting. I'm going to go with grub-config. So it's grub-mkconfig. I'm close. To debug an XFS file system, the utility blank can be used, like in blank/dev/sdb1. This is mostly used to inspect various elements and parameters of a file system. Don't know, not going to guess. So it's XFS_db. I'm not sure what where the DB comes from, but this is why this is so important, because I'll have that memorized. In the example above, since a file system type was not specified, it assumed that file system called, oh man, I don't know, E2FSCK. Linux distributions such as Debian and Ubuntu maintain their own repositories, and other repositories may be maintained by developers or user groups to provide software not available from the main distribution repositories. There are many utilities that interact with APT, the main ones being apt-get. Got it. On Linux, the system can swap memory pages from RAM to disk as needed, storing them in a separate file. The partition needs to be a specific type and set up with the proper utility before it can be used. So it's mkswap. Got it. Blank is used to create those file systems. If omitted, interesting. All right, so the answer is I don't know. MKE2FS. So the file blank contains descriptions about the file systems that can be mounted. This is a text file where each line describes a file system to be mounted with 6. So, and it's a text file. I'm going to go with /etc/fstab. /etc/fstab. I got it right. In order to control the machine, the operating system's main component, the kernel, must be loaded by a program called a kernel module. Sorry, a bootloader. Wrong. For XFS file systems, the equivalent of FSCK is FXS or XFS_repair. So XFS_repair. Got it. Another useful utility is blank, so it's XFS underscore, and then I don't remember. Okay, so here we go. So what we're doing is we're reorganizing the file system. So it's FS for file system, and then R for reorganize. You can mount a file system anywhere you want. However, there are some good practices that should be followed to make system administration easier. Traditionally, /mnt was the directory under which all external devices would be mounted, and a number of pre-configured anchor points for common devices like CD-ROM drives, /mount/CD-ROM, and floppy disks, /mount/floppy existed under it. This has been superseded by /media, MEDIA. To debug an XFS file system, the utility MKE2FS. No, XF_DB, probably for debug. The command to manually blank a file system, so I'm going to go with mount, MOUNT. FSCK itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility for the file system type to do so. In the example above, since the file system type was not specified, FSCK assumed an EX2/3/4 file system by default and called I don't remember. So it's E2FSCK. Some of the command line parameters to blank are okay. I'm thinking mount makes sense here, but let's go with mount. MOUNT. Oh, it's U mount. And I think we can see that because this will unmount all. This will force the unmounting of a system, which may be useful if you mounted a remote system and it's becoming reachable. So there you go. That's the clue to know that it's unmount. Um, and then if the file system cannot be unmounted, it'll try to make it read only. That's that. I think another clue. So blank is used to create an ex2, ex3, or ex4 file system, usually in a disk partition. I'm gonna go with ex. So mk ext. So it's mke2fs. The blank program is the command line interface to working with that library. I'm going to go with GPT. Nope, it's BLKID. Never heard of it. Okay, so you promised yourself that you would read a classic. So this is Split. SPLIT. All right, so specifying the name of the device. The command blank can be used to query information about a file system and find out the label. Interesting. About a file system? I'm going to go with ls. I don't know. I'm not going to guess. Oh, I was going to guess that. Okay, well, I got it wrong. All right, so partitioning the disk is the only step towards being able to use the disk. After that, you will need to format the partition with a file system before using it to store data. The standard tool used to create a file system on Linux is blank. So I'm going to do mk2fs. And the answer is mkfs. Another useful utility is blank. So this is xfs underscore fsr. xfs underscore fsr. Got it right. During an XFS file system, the utility blank can be used so it's xfs underscore db. And it's used to inspect various elements and parameters of a file system, and it's for debugging. xfs underscore db. Presumably the db understands for debug. I don't know. All right, so there are two commands that can be used to check how much space is being used and how much is left on a file system. The first one is blank, which stands for disk usage, so that's DU. FSCK itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility for the file system type to do so. In the example above, since the file system was not specified, how about MKFS? Or let's do MKEFS, E2FS, MKE2FS. So E2FSCK. Not right. DU works at a files level. There is another command that can show you disk usage. How much, so this is disk usage, so, and it's at a file system level. So this command is lsblk. Nope, it's df. Wrong. Okay, I'm going to go with mkfs. So mke2fs. Wrong. And this is because we're making a ext, and then we're making it into a file system. Some of the command line parameters to blank are Uh, let's go with, okay, this is unmount, umount. So umount is the answer. The blank program is the command line interface to working with blank. It can determine the type of content a block device holds and also specific attributes from the current metadata. Blank has two forms of operation, either searching for a device with a specific name equals value pair, or displaying name equals value pairs for one or more devices. This is kind of interesting. A blank program. The blank program. I think this is one I haven't really seen before. I think it's KID. Yeah, it's BLKID, but I got it wrong. Update / grub is usually a shortcut to mk config, mkconfig. Oh, grub -mk config again. Partitioning the disk is only the first step towards being able to use a disk. After that, you will need to format the partition with a file system before using it to store data. A file system controls how the data is stored and accessed on the disk. Linux supports many file systems, some native, like the ext extended file system family, while others come from other operating systems like FAT from MS-DOS and TFS from Windows NT, HFS and HFS Plus from Mac OS, etc. The standard tool used to create a file system on Linux is blank, which comes in many flavors according to the file system it needs to work with. So MKFS. Got it. Specifying the name of the device when containing the file system to mount may introduce some problems. Sometimes the same device name may be assigned to another device depending on when or where it was plugged into your system. For example, a USB flash drive on /dev/sdb1 may be assigned to /dev/sdc1 if plugged on another port or after another flash drive. One way to avoid this is to specify the label or UUID, universally unique identifier, of the volume. Both are specified when the file system is created and will not change unless the file system is destroyed or manually assigned a new label or UUID. The command blank can be used to query information about a file system and find out LSBLK. Got it. du works at the files level. There's another command that can show you disk usage. How much space is available at the file system level. DF. Got it. FSCK itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility for the file system type to do so. In the example above, since a file system was not... Ooh, this is a good one. So it's MKE2FS. Nope, it's E2FSCK. To check a file system for errors and hopefully fix them, Linux provides the FSCK utility. Got it. In order to control the machine, the operating system's main component, the kernel, must be loaded by a program called a bootloader. Blank is used to create an ex2, ex3, or ex4 file system, usually in a disk partition. Device is the special file corresponding to the device. Blocks-count is the number of blocks on the device. If omitted, so is this MK2FS? Oh, MKE2FS. That was close. I had the right instincts. The blank program. This is. Oh, I know what this one. It's BLKID. BLKID. All right. So here's the next one. So this is my sedentary time. Not good to ignore that, even though I'm kind of overdoing it. Overdoing it is bad, but so this is a standard location for the bootloader files slash boot. All right, and I actually I'm gonna take. You know what? I'm just gonna take. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like really sore. I am gonna take a quick break. I don't know what I'm gonna do about active time. 5 minutes would be good, but my legs are just kind of destroyed. Um, I think what I might do, because I want to finish this and I want to do some kind of deeper work, is just take a break for a bit and then come back and be like hyper sedentary for a while, because I just want to finish this up. So and I had plenty of exercise yesterday and I did a lot today, and I'm like I need to recover still. So I'm gonna pause it, take a quick break, come back and close this out. All right, I'm back. I'm just gonna be hyper sedentary for a while because I just want to close out a bunch of things. So the command blank is used to modify the permissions for a file. This is chmod. Got it. Okay, so those file systems have a number of parameters that can be adjusted or tuned by the so it's tune to fs. Got it. FSCK itself will not check the file system, so it will merely call the appropriate utility. So it's FSCK. Oh, actually, it has to be. So I think it's MKE2FS. So no, wrong. So on Linux, the system can swap memory pages from RAM. So this is MKSWAP. Got it. All right, blank is used to create an ex2, ex3, or ex4 file system, usually in a disk partition. So it's interesting. I'm not gonna guess. I'm just not gonna guess. So it's MKE2FS. Alright, the command to manually blank a file system. I'm going to go with mount a file system. MOUNT. Got it. The blank file contains descriptions about the file systems that can be mounted. This is /etc/fstab. Yeah, and it has the file system type, the mount point, or it has the file system, so the device containing it. Um, then the mount point, then the type, then the options, the dump, and then pass. For XFS file systems, an equivalent of FSCK is XFS underscore um, repair. FXS underscore REPAIR. XFS underscore repair. Good. So you can mount a file system anywhere you want. However, there are some good practices that should be followed to make system administration easier. Alright. So this has been superseded by /media/MEDIA. So update/grub is usually a shortcut to interesting. So this is to update grub, so grub-config maybe? I gotta stop guessing on this one. If I don't know, then I don't know. So to debug a FSS file system is xfs underscore db. Another utility is xfs underscore fsr. So fsck itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility for the file system type to do so. In the example above, since a file system type was not specified, fsck assumed an ex2/3/4 file system by default and called mke2fs. Wrong. I need to stop guessing on this one as well. A blank is an entity that stores data, and so this is a file. Some of the command line parameters to blank are so it's unmount. So UMOUNT. So blank, I'm going to admit I don't know it, so I'm not going to guess this time. And the answer is MKE2FS. Alright, so now let us look at the permissions file. Oh, this is good. This is good. So, UNAME. So this may be different on your system, but let us assume they look like the following. The permissions are RWOK for octo mode. Now the permissions are octo mode no matter where. Do you ever wonder where they come from? UNAME, which sets the default permissions. Check the current values. Okay. I said UNAME. The correct answer was UMASK. I got it wrong. The GNU tar command included with Linux distributions can create a .tar archive and then compress it with gzip or blank compression on a single command. So this allows the blank of compressed files. I don't know. bzip2. Okay, the standard tool used to create a file system on Linux is blank. Oh, I should know this. MKFS. Got it. Type touch and quotes it in quoting marks. The command blank is used to modify ownership. CHOWN. Got it. So just how do we identify the current values for each of our environment variables? One way is through the env command. Keep in mind that the user who owns a file does not need to belong to the group who owns a file. You could use the command blank. The example above, the user Carol does not need to be a member of the students group. The user or group permission set can be omitted if you do not wish to change them. So to change just the group owning the file, you can use chown. To change just the user, the command would be chown. Alternatively, you could use the command blank. Students texts. Oh, it's CHGRP. CHGRP, change group. Got it. So specifying the name of the device containing the file system to mount may introduce some problems. So the command blank can be used to query information about a file system and find out the label and UUID associated to it. So this is LSBLK. Got it. The blank program, so this is BLKID. So this, remember LSBLK? This is similar, but it's BLK ID. So this is about file systems. So this is can determine the type of content, a file system, swap. Okay. Well, I got that one right. I don't know if it's all about file systems or it's about file systems and other things as well, but the fact remains I got it right. So I'm going to admit I don't know this one, and I'm going to look at the answer. So the answer is E2FSCK. So blank. This is another one I will admit I don't know, and look at the answer. MKE2FS. Alright, so do works at the files level. There's another command that can show you disk usage and how much space is available at the file system level. This command is df. Alright, let's look at the permissions file. So this is UMASK. Alright, so use blank for all copy tasks. So this is MV. Oh, okay. Sorry, I got that wrong. The command to create a hard link is LN. Alright, so this is DPKG. This is INODE. Wrong. So to look up shared libraries, use the blank command. I'm going to go with which, WHICH. Nope, it's LDD. Search for files on a Linux system, you can use the find command, FIND. To swap out kernel memory pages when RAM is heavily used. Interesting. Swap out kernel memory pages. How about swap, SWAP? Swap space. So locate, LOCATE. apt-cache, APT-CACHE. This is update DB, UPDATE DB. Yep, update DB, got it. Alright, so this is XARGS, XARGS. So the command blank is more versatile. And besides, binaries can also be used to just show the location of man pages. Just type blank. I'm going to go with WHERE. I came close. Where is? So the default configuration file is /boot/grub.cfg. Got it. Alright, I'll admit I don't know this one. The answer is E2FSCK. Oh, I just saw it. So the answer is E2FSCK. Oh, no. This is wrong. Blank is a very useful command that shows the full path to an executable. So it's type type. Nope, it's which. What is the difference between blank and env? For our purposes, the main thing is that blank. So I'm going to go with set. Got it. So blank is a similar command that will show information about a binary. So the whereis. Nope, it's type. So blank stands for copy in, copy out. So it's CPIO. Got it. Can be controlled by the file. Oh man, this is rough. This is a text file where each line controls one variable. I think this is a new card. I'm not gonna guess on this. So let's see what the answer is. So it's /etc/updated b.conf. Okay, so you use the -i parameter of ls. The blank command will only output the, so it's uniq is the answer. The blank command is the easiest way to create, so it's touch, touch. Update-grub is usually a shortcut to I'm going to admit I don't know the answer and look at the answer. It's grub-mk-config. During system initialization, the init program identifies the request to run level /etc/tell init. Wrong. So this is echo, and notice how there's no quotes, and then notice how when it's single quotes, you get the special character and it doesn't resolve to the variable. So this is echo. So the blank command is one of the most important command line tools you should learn in order to navigate the file system. So it's ls. So fsck itself will not check the file system, but will merely call the appropriate utility for the file system type to do so. In the example above, since the file system was not specified, fsck assumed. So this is called, and I don't know this one, so I'm going to look at the answer. It's e2fsck. Okay, so the command blank is more versatile. So which, WHICH. Nope. I don't know this one. Okay. Inside the apt.sources. Nope, it's /etc/apt/sources.list. So this is going to be where is, WHEREIS. Nope, the answer is type. The command blank is used to modify the permissions for a file. It's chmod, CHMOD. Blank is a very useful command that shows the full path to an executable. So it's where is, WHEREIS. Nope, and the answer is which. The behavior of update_db can be controlled by the file /etc/updatedb.conf. Got it. Alright, so the command would be used to create a compressed file. While gzip compression is most frequently used, it also supports bzip to compression. bzip, the number 2. File system check itself will not check the file system. It will merely call the appropriate utility. I don't know this one. So E2FSCK. The command blank is more. Okay, so this is where is. WHEREIS. Got it. This is how you find the location of the man pages. Okay, so this is I'm gonna say with MKE2FS. Hey, I got it right. MKE2FS, perfect. So blank is a similar command. This is where, WHERE. Nope, and it's typed. So we're gonna use CP to copy. Got it. So blank is a very useful command. I don't know. Which? The command blank is used to modify ownership. So that's chown. CHOWN. So FSCK itself will not check the file system. I'm going to go with MKE2FS. Wrong. To look up the shared libraries required by a specific system, use the LDD command. Blank is a very useful command that shows the full path. So I'm going to go with type, TYPE, and the answer is which. Okay, so this one is type, and what type does is it shows information about a binary, including where it's located and its type. So it'll show you if it's a built-in command. It'll show you if it's an alias. It'll show you if it's a file, and it'll show you where it is. So, and that's what the -t parameter do. It'll show you, what it is. -a parameter will show you the path names that match. So the answer is type, TYPE, and I got it right. So FSCK itself will not check the file systems. I don't know. So it's E2FSCK. Alright, used to swap out kernel memory pages when RAM is heavily used. Swap space. Alright, keep in mind that a user who owns a file does not need to belong. So this is chgroup. CHGRP. Yep. A useful command that shows the full path. So this is going to be which, WHICH. I don't know. E2FSCK. This is LD. Sorry, I'm gonna go with LN instead of LD. It's LN. I don't know. So it's E2FSCK. Okay. So it's UMASK. Okay. E2FSK. E2FSK. Got it. Okay, so this is slash Etsy slash apt slash sources dot list slash Etsy slash apt slash sources dot list. Okay, grub dash mk config. So grub dash mkconfig. Alright, during system initialization, the init program identifies the requested run level, identified by a kernel parameter or in the blank file. So it's going to be slash Etsy slash init.d. Nope. Wrong. Alright, so to search for files, you can use the find command, F-I-N-D. So locate. This is update DB. You can check this using the -I of ls. The command where you can see the man pages is where is, WHEREIS. All right, now we're getting the good ones. It's narrowing down on the ones I constantly get wrong. So this is going to be E2 FSS. E2 FS. Wait. E2FSK. Oh, MKE2FS. Slash Etsy slash INITTAB. And this is E2FSK. Nope, it's MKE2FS. So this is slash Etsy slash updatedb.conf. CONF. E2 MKE2FS. So blank is a very useful command that shows the full path to an executable. So this is which, WHICH. All right, so this is going to be type, and I know that because it'll show its type, and you can use the -t parameter type. All right, so now this one is MKE2FS, or this is MKE2. No, I'm pretty sure that's wrong. It's E2FSCK. This is MKE2FS. Yes. And this is E2FSCK. Got it. All right. Oh, I gotta do it one more time because I keep getting it so wrong. E2FSCK. There we go. And cool, below the hour mark. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.